Dismantling SaaS silos, the role of AI in integration. Satya Nadella's idea of invisible software is no longer far-fetched. It's happening, albeit in a haphazard manner. The classic SaaS model with its siloed applications and disjointed subscriptions is on the verge of being phased out. This change is not only related to cost savings, but also aims at removing the context switching, decreasing the duplication of work, and solving architectural debt problems. The modular SaaS architecture of the last decade has reached an inflection point, says Sanchit, Gogia, Chief Analyst, founder and CEO of Greyhound Research. As AI embeds itself across the stack, it is increasingly driving unification, functionally, architecturally, and experientially. The standalone app model cannot keep pace with AI-native workflows that learn across boundaries and optimize in real time. Vendors that fail to reconceive their offerings as orchestrated platforms rather than independent apps risk irrelevance. For SaaS vendors, the challenge isn't AI capability, it's architecture. Most applications were designed for deterministic logic and user-led inputs, not for real-time inference across dynamic datasets. As a result, many AI integrations feel bolted on rather than native. Vendors must rethink modularity, he says. The CIOs in APAC and North America are already trimming down the overlapping SaaS modules, according to a study by Greyhound Research. The major reason? The emergence of AI-enabled context awareness in various business functions. CXOs have gone beyond only isolated pockets of intelligence. They now need AI to be present in a consistent manner throughout sales, finance, HR, and operations. However, the notion that AI agents will completely replace traditional apps is premature. While agents can automate repetitive sequences across tools, core systems like ERP and CRM still perform irreplaceable data integrity and compliance functions, says Gogia. The future lies in orchestration, not obsolescence. AI agents will route, summarize, and recommend, but critical systems will continue to underpin enterprise operations. Gogia, talking about it, calls the change of traditional SaaS by AI complexity reshaping rather than complexity reduction. Risks like unexplainable decisions, shadow automation, and legal exposure are typical of the new era. Enterprises must not fall into the trap of thinking that simplicity is the case here, and they need to put money into layered safeguards for AI governance, he says. Data governance is now mission critical. According to Gogia, just securing AI with measures such as encrypting data or locking models does not suffice. Total governance that covers inputs, processing, inferences, and outcomes is necessary in order to secure AI fully. As quoted in Financial Express, in an article authored by Yashvendra Singh published on July 3, 2025. Beyond the media quote, our view in full. Pressed for time, you can focus solely on the Greyhound flashpoints that follow. Each one distills the full analysis into a sharp, executive-ready takeaway, combining our official standpoint, validated through Pulse data from ongoing CXO trackers, and grounded in field notes from real-world advisory engagements. AI is dismantling the SaaS silo. Greyhound flashpoint. The traditional SaaS model, characterized by siloed applications and fragmented subscriptions, is under existential threat. According to Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025, 58% of technology leaders globally are prioritizing platform consolidation driven by AI capabilities. This isn't just about reducing cost, it's about reducing context switching, duplication, and architectural debt. AI is no longer a bolt-on. It is becoming the operating fabric across enterprise software portfolios. Greyhound standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the modular SaaS architecture of the last decade has reached an inflection point. As AI embeds itself across the stack, it is increasingly driving unification, functionally, architecturally, and experientially. The standalone app model cannot keep pace with AI-native workflows that learn across boundaries and optimize in real time. Vendors that fail to reconceive their offerings as orchestrated platforms, rather than independent apps, risk irrelevance. This evolution aligns with the Greyhound Distributed Enterprise Blueprint, a strategic framework developed by Greyhound Research for future-ready enterprises. It helps unify intelligence and orchestration across a distributed software estate, emphasizing convergence not in form, but in function, to ensure systems remain cohesive, context-aware, and responsive to business agility needs. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 reveals that 42% of CIOs in the APAC region and 61% in North America have already initiated efforts to consolidate overlapping SaaS modules. The primary driver cited: the need for AI-driven context awareness across business functions. CXOs are no longer content with isolated pockets of intelligence. They expect AI to operate with visibility across sales, finance, HR, and operations. Greyhound Field Note. Per a recent Greyhound Field Note with a UK-based retail conglomerate, executives found themselves managing 8 separate SaaS vendors for supply chain analytics, demand planning, and inventory optimization. AI-based integrations consistently failed due to incompatible data schemas. The firm is now migrating toward a unified AI platform that offers real-time, cross-functional decision support, cutting redundant SaaS spend by 27% in pilot regions. AI is making software personal, finally. Greyhound Flashpoint. AI is reshaping software from rigid workflows to adaptive systems. Per Greyhound Sector Pulse 2025, 64% of manufacturing and financial services firms say AI has significantly improved software flexibility, allowing configurations to reflect unique business models and user preferences. This is less about features, more about fit. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the future of business software lies in its ability to listen, learn, and morph based on real-world context. AI enables this by digesting behavioral data, organizational logic, and even informal workflows to generate personalized experiences. Rather than forcing users into predefined paths, software is beginning to meet them where they are, with dynamic interfaces and context-aware suggestions. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound Sector Pulse 2025 indicates that 57% of finance and HR leaders are actively piloting adaptive interfaces that leverage AI to present role-specific dashboards, predictive alerts, and workflow nudges. Flexibility is no longer a design principle. It is a survival imperative in volatile macro environments. Greyhound Field Note. In a recent Greyhound Field Note from a Singapore-based logistics firm, we observed that dispatch managers routinely circumvented their official transport planning tool using spreadsheets. The vendor introduced AI-enabled scheduling with natural language inputs and context-aware adjustments. Adoption surged by 41%, validating that adaptivity, not additional functionality, was the missing link. Will AI agents kill the app? Not quite. Greyhound Flashpoint. AI agents are reducing dependency on traditional apps, but replacement is not wholesale. Per Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025, only 18% of CIOs believe AI agents will completely replace line-of-business applications within 5 years. Most envision coexistence, where AI agents augment apps by orchestrating workflows across them. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the rhetoric of AI agents replacing apps is premature. While agents can automate repetitive sequences across tools, core systems, like ERP and CRM, still perform irreplaceable data integrity and compliance functions. The future lies in orchestration, not obsolescence. AI agents will route, summarize, and recommend, but critical systems will continue to underpin enterprise operations. Within the Greyhound Distributed Enterprise Blueprint, a strategic framework developed by Greyhound Research for future-ready enterprises, AI agents are classified as orchestration layers, not replacements, meant to unify fragmented workflows rather than obliterate core systems. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 shows that 73% of global CIOs are investing in AI orchestration layers rather than app decommissioning. These layers sit atop legacy and modern systems, acting as intelligent intermediaries, not replacements. Greyhound Field Note. Per a Greyhound Field Note with a German automotive OEM, a pilot AI agent designed to handle procurement tasks failed regulatory validation because it bypassed essential ERP controls. The firm now uses the agent strictly for triage and approvals, not execution, illustrating the boundary between assistance and autonomy. Is invisible software already here? Greyhound Flashpoint. Satya Nadella's vision of invisible software is unfolding gradually, though not evenly. Greyhound Sector Pulse 2025 finds that 39% of healthcare and legal firms report seamless AI integrations that reduce direct user interaction with software. However, true invisibility remains aspirational, constrained by governance, UI standards, and trust thresholds. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, while the notion of invisible software is compelling, its realization depends on trust, explainability, and domain complexity. AI must prove its decisions, not just make them. In high-stakes industries, healthcare, banking, aviation, invisible cannot mean unaccountable. The journey is ongoing, but currently, AI is best understood as a co-pilot, not a ghost in the machine. Greyhound Pulse. In Greyhound Sector Pulse 2025, only 22% of respondents across regulated industries were comfortable with AI decisions rendered without user review. The demand for traceability, especially in mission-critical environments, is slowing full automation. Greyhound Field Note. In a Greyhound Field Note with an Australian hospital network, clinicians trialed an AI scheduling tool that autonomously assigns staff and surgical slots. After a near miss involving conflicting anesthesia and ICU staffing, governance protocols were reinstated. Full invisibility was deemed operationally risky. Co-visibility became the new goal. AI workflows are replacing the SaaS patchwork. Greyhound Flashpoint. AI-driven workflows are increasingly displacing the need for multiple SaaS apps. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 finds that 49% of enterprise CIOs in North America and Western Europe have reduced their SaaS stack by at least 20% through AI-led automation initiatives. This shift is driven by a desire to consolidate context, reduce integration overheads, and unlock real-time intelligence. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the new AI-native workflow layer is absorbing functions previously distributed across multiple SaaS vendors. Use cases like sales forecasting, customer onboarding, and IT ticket resolution are being orchestrated end-to-end by AI, often without the user needing to switch tools. SaaS providers that fail to offer these compound workflows risk being reduced to data silos or API endpoints. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 reveals that 61% of firms with more than $1 billion in revenue are replacing specialized SaaS tools, such as expense tracking and leave management, with AI-powered workflow hubs embedded within core systems like ERP and collaboration platforms. Greyhound Field Note. In a Greyhound Field Note with a US-based fintech, the firm eliminated 5 standalone SaaS tools related to expense approval, travel booking, and policy compliance. These were replaced by an AI engine embedded within Microsoft Teams that handles requests through natural language prompts. The result, a 63% reduction in internal support tickets and significantly improved user satisfaction. Why integrated AI software wins on productivity and experience. Greyhound Flashpoint. Technology leaders moving to AI-integrated software are reporting big gains. According to Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025, 67% of CIOs say AI-infused platforms have improved productivity, while 54% cite measurable reductions in licensing costs. Experience matters too. AI delivers faster workflows, contextual alerts, and better adoption. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the migration to AI-powered software is fundamentally a shift in operational intelligence. Integrated platforms don't just automate tasks, they learn from user behavior and enterprise context to drive proactive actions. This reduces lag, increases precision, and allows leadership to focus on value creation over system administration. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 shows a 47% drop in software-related training overheads in organizations that adopt AI-native platforms. AI helps flatten the learning curve by offering dynamic guidance and just-in-time nudges embedded in the workflow. These trends align with the Greyhound Distributed Enterprise Blueprint, a strategic framework developed by Greyhound Research for future-ready enterprises, which identifies AI-infused platforms as critical enablers of continuous productivity and digital dexterity across business roles. Greyhound Field Note. Per a Greyhound Field Note with a large pharmaceutical enterprise in India, the CIO reported a 40% reduction in compliance violations after adopting an AI-powered quality documentation system that alerts users in real time. The previous SaaS stack required toggling between 4 applications, a friction that AI eliminated entirely. SaaS vendors struggle to rethink software for the AI age. Greyhound Flashpoint. While demand for AI is surging, most SaaS vendors are still retrofitting legacy products rather than rebuilding them for intelligence. Greyhound Pulse shows 62% of product leaders cite integration complexity and data fragmentation as major hurdles to AI-native software delivery. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the core challenge for SaaS vendors isn't AI capability, it's software architecture. Most applications were built for deterministic logic and user-led inputs, not for real-time inference across dynamic datasets. As a result, AI integrations feel bolted on, not native. Vendors must rethink modularity, workflow chaining, and event-driven orchestration from the ground up. Greyhound Pulse. According to the Greyhound Product Pulse 2025, only 23% of leading SaaS vendors have introduced fully event-driven architectures. The rest remain largely API-centric, which limits the autonomy and contextual intelligence AI agents can exercise. Greyhound Field Note. In a Greyhound Field Note with a Southeast Asian government services vendor, a chatbot implementation failed because the SaaS CRM had no webhook-based event triggers. The result? Users experienced delayed responses and incomplete task execution, prompting a complete overhaul of backend APIs and event logs. How CIOs should navigate the AI-centric shift. Greyhound Flashpoint. As the shift from app-centric to AI-centric ecosystems accelerates, CIOs must become architects of intelligence, not just integration. Per Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025, 69% of CIOs are now creating dedicated AI strategy roles within IT leadership to own the transition roadmap. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, CIOs must expand beyond vendor selection and infrastructure management to lead cross-functional AI integration across security, compliance, employee experience, and data governance. According to the Greyhound Distributed Enterprise Blueprint, a strategic framework developed by Greyhound Research for future-ready enterprises, CIOs must evolve from integration leads to intelligence architects, designing systems where AI is embedded not just in tools, but in organizational design and decision rights. The move to AI-centric software requires a new fluency in prompt design, orchestration logic, and digital ethics, skills not traditionally nurtured in core IT roles. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 finds that CIOs investing in in-house AI platform teams, rather than outsourcing intelligence to vendors, report a 36% higher return on AI investments. Governance, explainability, and alignment with business context are better controlled internally. Greyhound Field Note. A Middle East-based utility CIO told Greyhound Research they created an AI integration council comprising IT, HR, legal, and operations. This helped resolve early-stage conflicts over job automation and algorithmic decision rights, issues that stalled similar initiatives at peer organizations lacking cross-functional alignment. The hidden risks of AI replacing traditional SaaS. Greyhound Flashpoint. AI may streamline software usage, but it introduces new risks, especially around decision traceability, over-reliance on probabilistic outcomes, and vendor lock-in. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 shows 53% of CIOs cite auditability as the number one concern with AI-led automation. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, the replacement of traditional SaaS by AI doesn't reduce complexity, it reshapes it. New risks emerge around unexplainable decisions, shadow automation, and legal exposure. Enterprises must avoid the illusion of simplicity and invest in layered safeguards for AI governance. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CIO Pulse 2025 shows that 44% of enterprises deploying AI agents lack formal audit trails for system-generated decisions. This gap is a liability in sectors like finance and healthcare, where traceability is non-negotiable. Greyhound Field Note. Per a Greyhound Field Note from Canadian insurer, the firm faced a regulatory audit where AI-generated premium quotes couldn't be fully explained. The absence of transparent logs triggered compliance alerts, leading to a moratorium on autonomous pricing algorithms. Securing AI systems requires rethinking data control. Greyhound Flashpoint. As AI systems get embedded across workflows, data governance becomes mission-critical. Per Greyhound CISO Pulse 2025, 68% of security leaders report new data classification, access control, and lineage tracking frameworks as top AI enablement priorities. Greyhound Standpoint. According to Greyhound Research, securing AI is not just a matter of encrypting data or locking models. It requires full-spectrum governance that spans inputs, processing, inferences, and outcomes. Organizations must ensure AI behaves ethically, securely, and transparently across its lifecycle. This demands tight integration between security, data, and product teams. Greyhound Pulse. Greyhound CISO Pulse 2025 shows that 55% of enterprises deploying embedded AI now mandate real-time data lineage tracking, particularly in customer-facing and financial systems. This ensures accountability and facilitates redressal when AI outputs go awry. Greyhound Field Note. At a financial institution in South Africa, a Greyhound Field Note captured a breach scenario where customer service AI model accessed PI from test environments due to improper tagging. The incident triggered a review of model access policies, sandbox controls, and red teaming protocols to avoid repeat violations. Analyst in focus, Sanchit Gogia. Sanchit Gogia, or SVG as he is popularly known, is a globally recognized technology analyst, innovation strategist, digital consultant, and board advisor. SVG is the chief analyst, founder and CEO of Greyhound Research, a global, award-winning technology research, advisory, consulting, and education firm. Greyhound Research works closely with global organizations, their CXOs, and the board of directors on technology and digital transformation decisions. SVG is also the founder and CEO of the House of Greyhound, an eclectic venture focusing on interdisciplinary innovation. Copyright policy. All content contained on the Greyhound Research website is protected by copyright law and may not be reproduced, distributed, transmitted, displayed, published, or broadcast without the prior written permission of Greyhound Research, or, in the case of third-party materials, the prior written consent of the copyright owner of that content. You may not alter, delete, obscure, or conceal any trademark, copyright, or other notice appearing in any Greyhound Research content. We request our readers not to copy Greyhound Research content and not republish or redistribute them, in whole or partially, via emails or republishing them in any media, including websites, newsletters, or intranets. We understand that you may want to share this content with others, so we've added tools under each content piece that allow you to share the content. If you have any questions, please get in touch with our community relations team at connect@thoffer.com.